I've always talked about my first real estate investment even before I started selling real estate. In other words, I was first an investor before I started selling real estate to anybody. Now, as a part of that story of how I made my first real estate investment, there's another part of the story that I have never shared right here on this YouTube channel, and I want to share that in this particular video. It is a story of how I later sold that land and made over 100% return on investment in less than 1 year, and eventually a part of that money I made as profit from selling that land was used to finance my wedding. Yes, I would say that real estate gave me my dream wedding as a young person. And as a matter of fact, after the wedding, a day after the wedding, my mother-in-law was telling us of how people called her aside and were asking if she was sure that this guy that was marrying her daughter was not a Yahoo guy. In this video, I want to share that story with you, and importantly, share key lessons that you can draw from this story and apply to your own life, finance, and of course, investment and your journey to building wealth. And importantly, I want to share with you 4 key strategies or areas of investment that you need to consider as somebody who wants to build wealth leveraging on real estate. This right here will be the most important part of the conversation. 4 key areas of real estate investment that you can consider as somebody who wants to build wealth leveraging on real estate. My name is Raymond Ijoma, and I am the lawyer that loves real estate. Or if you like, the real estate entrepreneur that uses law and real estate as a tool in building wealth for myself and my clients. And this video is brought to you by Fortreal Rei Ltd, real estate company right here in the very city of Abuja. And as a company, we bring you the very best of real estate right here in the city of Abuja and its environment. So do subscribe to this channel, like this video, drop a comment, and be a part of this family. So let's briefly start with the story. So right on this YouTube channel, I have shared conversations, the story around making my first real estate investment. And at the time, as I have said, my salary was 40,000 naira working in a law firm at the time. But in addition to working in that law firm, I was personally looking for money, legitimately looking for everywhere I could gather money. And in fact, part of the money that helped me in achieving that was one legal transaction I took outside of my office that gave me 150,000 naira at the time. That was my first 6 figures at the time, and very importantly, I was saving as much as 70 to 80% of my salary, as well as in addition to all the savings I've been doing during my NYSC. So clearly, there was a lot of savings. In fact, my savings habit was so good, in fact, it became habitual in a way that I was almost starving myself while I had a lot of money in the bank or other saving systems. Of course, there was a crash that led to me losing a part of that money, but that's a conversation for another day. So the summary of today's story is that I bought the land while I was working, and about 7-8 months, of course, I had resigned at the time, all right, and I was broke. Very broke. I just knew that I wanted to get married early, and the best thing I could do at the time was to sell the land. Of course, the intent was not to squander all the money for the wedding because there was marriage afterwards. But then there's still another story after the wedding. So for me, naturally, I think some persons would say frugal, but I just like to say it is delayed gratification. So I took only a fraction of that money and put it into my wedding, and I told my wife that we're not going to do anything outside beyond this visited budget for the wedding. The summary of the story is that everything came out beautifully in a way that it looked like a big mass wedding. Now, here are the lessons. First, there was a savings. Right? You can't build wealth, you can't begin to invest in real estate if you have not developed a savings culture. And even if a bulk amount of money comes to you once, there must be a savings culture, a savings habit for you to continually invest in real estate successfully. So there was a savings culture, there was delayed gratification. Trust me, I'm going to share another story that happened a week after the wedding regarding another investment. So there was delayed gratification, there was a savings culture, there was commitment and focus on building wealth. Of course, finally, there was the goal. And without the goal, you can never successfully invest in real estate or build wealth while investing in real estate. In developing your own strategy for building wealth through real estate, you need to begin to consider 4 key areas of real estate investment. The first is education. In other words, you can invest in real estate for your personal education or the education of your children. In other words, you can buy a specific property or properties in line with the current age of your children, so that in the next 5 years or in the next 18 years, when this child becomes this, or when this child is ready for school, or going to Harvard, or going to any school that you desire for them to go to, we can sell this particular property, right? So there are different ideas you can explore in this regard, but generally the first area that you can consider for you to leverage real estate for is education. It could be your personal educational goals or the educational goals of all of your children. The second is building wealth generally, right? Building wealth generally for yourself and for generations after you. This is very clear. In other words, you can begin to invest in properties, right? You're not planning to sell them today, you're not planning to sell them tomorrow. But the goal is that through this property, you can build wealth, amass a lot of assets, and of course, generational wealth for yourself. The next area you should begin to consider looking at as somebody who wants to build wealth or generally invest in real estate is for balling, your personal enjoyment, relaxation, vacations. You can even do that. In other words, you can buy one property, one land banking project, or different types of properties that you can say, okay, this one is for enjoyment, this one is for my flexing, and the last category is your retirement. Every human being must consider retirement. After all of the work, you are not going to work forever. I am not going to do videos forever, right? There has to be a point where we need to actively stop working. At that point in time, what is going to feed us? What is going to take care of us? I'm not of the opinion that you should rely on your children to begin to take care of you when they are just starting life, right? You have to take responsibility for yourself and begin to consider, or we have to begin to take responsibility for ourselves and begin to consider our retirement. And that is where the other category of real estate investment comes in. This time around, you are investing for retirement, and the type of projects you can consider, opportunities you can consider in this regard are majorly land banking projects. Or if you have a cash flow one, you can build it in a way that it consistently is for other real estate investment strategies that you can explore that will ensure that your retirement is good and the way you dream of it. This is my conversation for you today, and I hope that it was valuable to you. If you're interested in investing in real estate in or for any of these categories, do reach out to the number showing on your screen. My name is Raymond Ijoman, and this was brought to you by Fortreal Rei Ltd. I'll see you on the next one.